Song and Dance Man by Karen Ackerman. Grandpa was a song and dance man who once danced at a village stage. When we visit, he tells about the time before people watched TV, back in the good old days, the song and dance days. Supper in an hour. Grandma calls me the kitchen. I wonder if my top shoes still fit. Grandpa says with a smile, but he drums a light in the attic, and we follow him up the steep wooden steps. At poster of the grandpa when he was young hand on the walls. He moves some cardboard boxes and the rack of grandma's winter dresses out of the way, and we see the dusty round a little trimmed truck on the corner. As soon as Grandpa opens it, the smell of the colored chips and the old things brought him the attic. Inside his shoes with the silver half-moon taped on the shoes and the heels, bowler hats and top hats and the vests of the straight of the bow ties. We try on the hats and pretend we're dancing in a volleyball stage, where the bright lights twinkle and the piano player nods the head along the music. After ripping the shoes and the clothes his shoulders straight me, Grandpa still always put them on. She tucks in a small white pad inside the shoes and was cold when it rubbed. She turned to the left and aimed more down in the spotlight. She sprinkled a little powder on his floor, and it was showtime. We sit on the grandma's wooden blankets, clap out our shoes, and call it out, "Yay, Grandpa!" The song and the dance man begins to dance with the old soft shoe. His feet move slowly at first, while the tap shoes make a soft, slippery sound like rain on a tin roof. He forgets if Papa's dancing, and we'll all hear the silver tap of the 2 feet, and we will all see the song and dance man getting across at a velvet stage. He says, "Watch this," and it was so few steps or a wooden pecker tapping on a tree. Suddenly his shoes move faster and begins to sing. His voice gets and is strong and it cannot echo, and his chicas go roasting and sings Yankee Doodle Boy as he songs of the good old days. There are too many dance steps and too many words and for song verse to remember, but the show was better than any show on TV. The song and dance man stopped and leaned for the drink. "What is your year?" he tells. He pulls in a silver dollar in somebody's hair. He rolls the bowler in the arm and catches his hand and flipping down on the head. "I know you make it elephant float," she says. "1 scoop of ice, 1 scoop of soda, and 3 schools of elephant." She's heard her face drunk before, but the hair-footed dance man has seen it roll his eyes roughen. He tries to wipe them and let her hang it out of the basket bucket, but she was hanging and the longer she pulls it out. He rolls a surprise that he was hanging too, and it feels like the whole landing was shaking. Something was so hard to hiccups first, and Grandpa shows it half the grain of the water of the bathroom. "Dark, slow, and slow down your breath," he said, "or I'll leave to scare you." Once our hiccups are gone, he got a gold-tipped cane with black silk top on the head and the truck. He followed his eyes and the tip of his head, and he was standing very still. And the lights are turning out and shining polish of the tapped shoes. The grand finale, that the song danceman tries a deep breath. She lifted the canes and called in both hands. Slowly she finds the stem and moves faster and faster, and the snow is coming out to make only 2 feet. He spins and jumps it down the stage again. He nails it spread out in the top hat and tip by side his feet. His shoes are still, and the show is over. We stand up together and clap our hands and shouting, "Hurry, more!" But Grandpa still almost in his head and out of the breath. He takes me the tap shoes, rattles gently in his slimy toes. He puts them back in the ruler of the trunk. He carefully holds the vest and raises the cane on it. We follow him to the stairway. Grandma holds me down to the steps. We both hug us, and we itch from the good old days. She's sung of the 3 days, small and wistful she won, and remember in good ways full she spends us. But he tries the attic light, but she glances up the stairs, and we wonder how the misses of the time the fragile stage, and it was song and dance man.